Today I'm going to show you one of the loops that I do when I'm in the Safety Harbor, Florida, Clearwater, Florida area. This is where my parents live. We're down here visiting. It's not the most ideal place to ride if you're a mountain biker and gravel rider, but there is a loop that I do that's pretty decent. You can drive to some mountain bike trails about 40 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes from here, but I don't want to drive today, so we're going to head out on the gravel bike, my 9er RL T9 RDO. And we're off. So most of this ride today is going to be on dedicated paved bike trail. This is the area that I actually started riding as far as like road bikes way back in the day. And since then they've put in a lot of paved bike trails that were not here back in my college days. But we have to do some sidewalks and other creative ways of getting to the paved trails. So most of what will be on today is the Pinellas Trail. It's like a 45-mile paved trail, which we'll do about, I don't know, 20-25 miles of it today. Like I said earlier, this is not the most ideal place to ride if you like riding mountain bikes and gravel. But yesterday we went over to the Tampa BMX track. Pretty decent little track. There's another BMX track much closer to my parents' house that I'll show you in this video. It's the Oldsmar BMX track. That's where Dawson got to watch Connor Fields race a national, and where Connor Fields, I think he said it was the worst crash of his career. Got knocked out, had a seizure. So Dawson, that was kind of like his early BMX days. Didn't help his confidence. I'll show you the track, but it's closed right now because they're doing, I guess they had foundation problems, and it's been closed for like over a year, which I don't understand why it takes a year to fix foundation problems on a BMX track. So we're going over what is the north end of Tampa Bay. Going over into Oldsmar, which is where that BMX track is I was talking about. So this is a trail I've actually never been on. I don't know if it's new or I just haven't seen it on the map before, but this is a different way I've ever come. The loop I'm doing today, I normally do in the reverse direction. I'm going to do counterclockwise today. I normally go clockwise, but I found this on the map. Looked like a good way to kind of get over to where I'm going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some neighborhoods that are low speed, low traffic, really nice neighborhoods. And then we'll work our way over to the Pinellas Trail. This actually is pretty cool. Trying to stay off the roads as much as possible. This area is heavily, densely populated. On your left side. Yeah, this is nice. Nice tree cover. Kind of cool this morning for this area. Normally it's pretty hot when I ride around here, but today it's between Christmas and New Year's, and we had a cold front come through. I'm following my Garmin here. I put this whole thing in my Garmin. Never been through this neighborhood. This is like a reverse bike lane. It has a bike lane symbol on the left side. I think it's just bikes sharing the road here. And back onto this connector trail, the Oldsmar Trail. It's a little wet. What the heck is this wet? It hasn't rained in days here. Oh, you know what? I bet the tide came over this thing. Ooh, gotta be careful. Might be slippery. Looks like we're going through a frisbee golf course here. Yeah, like I said, never been in this area. Always kind of cool to go in a new area you've never been on. Urban adventures. Green space is always welcomed in this area. You don't get much of it. This whole area is basically neighborhoods and strip malls and parks and golf courses and people doing push-ups. Going along a little canal here, coming up into Oldsmar. So back to the weather. The weather, as you can see, is beautiful here today. It was about 51 this morning Fahrenheit, about 54 when I left, and it's supposed to get up to like 72 today. It was 38 here a couple mornings ago, which is pretty cold here because of the humidity. It's a very wet cold. I'm warmer in 10 degrees in Colorado than I am in 38 degrees here. Kind of cool. Still on sections that I've never done before. I thought this kept going. Am I wrong? Yeah, look at the Garmin. We are off-road in the Tampa Bay area. This is cool. I saw this on the map and it was like a dotted path. Oh, sweet. A little bit of gravel for the tires. Good morning. Oh, my gravel bike is so happy right now. Where is this thing taking me? Oh, this is awesome. Where do I go here? Straight? Yeah, okay. Nice. Grass is still a little wet from the morning dew. Hasn't hit the sun yet. There's a trail up there. Am I supposed to go there? Oh yeah. Yeah. Supposed to go right here. This is very sweet. This is a stark contrast to the Pinellas Trail that we'll be on. Oh, we got some mud. Dried mud. Sort of dry. Pinellas Trail is very crowded at times, but it's still miles on a bike. So it looks like this thing dumped me out at the Oldsmar Sports Complex, which is where the BMX track is. We'll see if we can get a look at it. So that's the BMX track, Oldsmar BMX. It's a supercross track, so you've got the massive starting hill there on the left side and then the regular one on the right side. So the big one's for the pros, and you got a pro line coming right out of the gate. I've never ridden this track. Dawson raced it, did pretty well. Like I said, this is where they had the national, where Connor Fields had his massive crash. Looks like a really sweet track. I'm excited about them getting it up and running again. All right, so now we're into the what I call the neighborhood section of this ride. This is East Lake Woodlands. This one I can get about 5 miles of riding, and the next one, I don't know, 5 to 7. And I like it because I can get some consistent pedaling in, which you'll see when we get on the Pinellas Trail. It's a long trail, but there are countless stop signs. So it's a good way to work on your fast twitch acceleration muscles. East Lake Woodlands is a gated golf course community, and it's where I taught tennis as a senior in high school over the summers. after that summer, and I think the next one too. It's also where we trained when I was on the tennis team in high school. Good times here. I also like these neighborhoods because there's a lot of tree cover. So like I said earlier, it's usually pretty hot when I ride here. All right, exiting East Lake Woodlands. Now we're on the Pinellas Trail, and we're going to turn off of it coming up here to go through one more neighborhood before we continue on it. This is pretty much where it ends or begins, depending on which way you're headed. So for me, this is where it begins. And this thing goes north here, then goes west, and then goes south all the way down to St. Petersburg, Florida. So like I said, it's pretty long. I want to say it's like 45 miles. All right, I think we're going to go left up here into another neighborhood. Took a short detour here to take a look at Lake Tarpon. It's a pretty big lake. Sometime I want to bring my kayak down to this area and kayak on this lake. Because like I said, it's a pretty large lake. This neighborhood section is really cool. It's got several miles of like this tree tunnel. Looks really cool. Yeah, so it's warming up nicely. Already taken off my vest. It's a nice stop there, buddy. Taking off the vest and the gloves. It's probably up to about 60 degrees by now. Still got some fall colors left on this road. Nice. Back on the Pinellas Trail. And we'll be on this thing for about 20-25 miles. My Garmin Varia is picking up traffic like 4 lanes over on my right. This little thing's never seen so many cars in all its life. This northern part of the trail, you can get some of the longest stretches without stop signs. When I say long stretch, if you go half a mile without a stop sign, it's a long stretch. We're going through downtown Tarpon Springs. Kind of a cool section where the trail's in between 2 streets. Just past a brewery back there. There's a couple breweries right along the trail in some of these little towns, particularly Dunedin, which we'll go through in a little bit. That one back there was called Brighter Day Brewery. So Tarpon Springs is known for sponge divers and really authentic Greek food. Just past a group back there, huddled around a lady. She had fallen off her bike. She looked like she was about 70 years old, but she was all kitted out. Looked like a, pretty avid cyclist, but had kind of just fallen at an intersection back there. Hate seeing that. All right, now we're on the sections where we do get the longer stretches. Man, the temperature is perfect now. What is it according to my Garmin? Well, Garmin says 75. I know it's not that. It's probably about 68. Garmin's been in the sun a little bit. So the trail up here is not too crowded. It's a weekday. Good number of people out here, but not too bad. This is probably the longest stretch with no stop signs. I'd say probably gonna go about a mile, mile and a half. Now we're coming into the Palm Harbor area. You've got all kind of pedestrians on this trail. Rollerbladers, walkers, guys pulling kids in wagons. I even saw a guy on a longboard the other day, had a long pole with a rubber foot on the bottom of it. And he was pushing it like it was a paddleboard. Never seen that before. There's a bridge coming up. Pedestrian bridge that goes over the road, kind of cool.
Another one.
Now we're in Dunedin, and we'll be coming up to downtown Dunedin here pretty shortly. Oh, I gotta get through this light. I do not want to get stuck in this one. So we had a cyclocross race here for a few years in a row. The course wasn't that great, but the vibe was really cool. They don't do that one anymore. Cyclocross seems to be fizzling out in Florida for some reason. It was really popular at one point. So downtown Dunedin is my favorite spot in this area. It's just got a cool vibe. There's about, I don't know, at least 6 breweries. We went to a Dunedin brewery last night, my wife and I, and then we had the best Mexican food I've ever had. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was great. It wasn't cheap, but super healthy for Mexican food and super good. All right, so this is Hob Brewing Company on my right on the trail. Don't know if they're open yet. And then gonna go right through downtown Dunedin. Over to my left is a Mexican restaurant. Casatina, that was the name of it. These people think I'm crazy talking to myself. Oh, yeah, really cool vibe downtown Dunedin. These trees to my left are really cool looking. So we've got about 1/10 of a mile left. I think this is my street where I turn off. And that's the Pinellas Trail. And then we're gonna work our way over to the Ream Wilson Trail. Got to go on some streets. I'm gonna be going on sidewalks a bunch up here. Yeah, starting with this one. All right, I successfully navigated the side streets to get back over to this area. This is a sports complex, and this is where we pick up the Ream Wilson Trail. 'To my right is the Phillies practice field. Philadelphia Phillies baseball team. They've been practicing down here since like the mid-1900s, I think. Cool little section through here. This is another frisbee golf course along this path. Frisbee golf has gotten real popular down here. Never tried that before, actually. Seems like it'd be a fun family activity. %10 grade. Don't see that very much on this trail. This ride is so flat. And we get a 10% grade climb coming up. That's what you get for taking up the whole trail. So this is where the Ream Wilson Trail comes into Safety Harbor. Safety Harbor is right on the other side of Tampa Bay from the Tampa area. And Safety Harbor is where I'll end up for my ride today. It's where my parents live. All right, we're coming into downtown Safety Harbor. The famous Safety Harbor Resort and Spa. This is downtown Safety Harbor. Another cool little area. I see a pizza shop I've never been to that I might have to visit before we leave here. Finishing up the ride by navigating some back streets around Safety Harbor to stay off the main ones. just following my Garmin. It's so cool to just map out a route. You know, like I said, most of this route I've done several times, but the beginning part and this part I haven't done. Only got about a mile to go. That, my friends, is the loop, and how I get some pedaling miles when I visit the Safety Harbor Clearwater area without having to drive anywhere. Ride time was exactly 3 hours, just under 48 miles, a whopping 15.9 miles per hour average speed, but a lot of stop signs. All right, thanks for riding with me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one.